The Thibodaux Massacre stands as one of the darkest chapters in American labor history, highlighting the deep conflict between sugarcane workers and their employers, driven by exploitative working conditions and the desperate fight for fair wages. In the late 19th century, sugarcane dominated Louisiana's economy, and its cultivation depended entirely on backbreaking manual labor. The industry was grueling, with workers enduring long hours in sweltering heat, low wages that barely covered subsistence, and minimal protection from both the elements and workplace hazards. While plantation owners amassed wealth from this lucrative industry, their laborers struggled under oppressive conditions, trapped in a cycle of poverty and exploitation. Most of the sugarcane plantations were owned by wealthy white families who not only controlled the economy, but also wielded significant influence over local politics and law enforcement. The workforce on these plantations was diverse, comprising African American laborers, as well as European and Caribbean immigrants, all working side by side under the same harsh conditions. Despite their shared hardships, racial tensions remained high, exacerbated by the lingering effects of slavery and systemic discrimination. However, a growing sense of solidarity emerged among the workers, as they began to recognize their collective strength and the necessity of demanding better wages and working conditions. This newfound resolve led to the quiet but determined formation of labor unions, which sought to challenge the unchecked power of plantation owners. One of the most influential labor organizations of the era, the Knights of Labor, played a crucial role in advocating for sugarcane workers. The union sought to unite workers across racial and occupational lines, promoting the idea that solidarity among laborers could lead to meaningful change. However, the plantation owners perceived the growing influence of labor unions as a direct threat to their authority and economic dominance. As the Knights of Labor gained traction, plantation owners responded with increasing hostility, using intimidation, violence, and legal maneuvers to suppress worker activism. The situation reached a boiling point in the months leading up to the massacre. Tensions between laborers and plantation owners escalated into open conflict, as workers threatened to strike to demand fair wages and humane treatment. In response, plantation owners resorted to extreme measures, including evicting workers from their homes, hiring strikebreakers, and leveraging law enforcement to quell dissent. The atmosphere in Thibodaux grew increasingly volatile, with both sides bracing for a confrontation that seemed inevitable. On November 23, 1887, that confrontation turned into a massacre. A group of armed white vigilantes, including sheriff's deputies and plantation owners, launched a violent attack on a gathering of striking sugarcane workers in Thibodaux, Louisiana. The workers, primarily African American, had assembled to discuss their grievances and organize further action. The vigilantes, under the pretense of quelling an illegal assembly, opened fire without warning, indiscriminately killing men, women, and children. The brutality of the attack was staggering. Bodies were left in the streets, and survivors were hunted down in the days that followed. While official records estimated around 30 deaths, some historians believe the true number could be significantly higher, as many victims were buried in unmarked graves or simply disappeared. The violence did not end with the initial attack. In the aftermath, law enforcement and plantation owners continued their crackdown, arresting and terrorizing suspected labor leaders, effectively crushing the strike and silencing further resistance. The Thibodaux Massacre sent a chilling message to laborers across the South. Any attempt to demand better conditions would be met with brutal force. Despite the tragic outcome, the Thibodaux Massacre remains a pivotal moment in labor history, symbolizing both the extreme oppression faced by workers and the resilience of the labor movement. While the massacre temporarily suppressed organized labor in Louisiana's sugar industry, it also underscored the urgent need for labor rights and fair treatment. The struggles of those who perished in Thibodaux paved the way for future generations of workers who would continue the fight for justice. The Thibodaux Massacre serves as a stark reminder of the lengths to which those in power have gone to maintain control and suppress workers' rights. It is a testament to the courage of those who dared to stand up against oppression, even in the face of overwhelming violence. If you found this story compelling, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to A History in Color for more in-depth explorations of Black history and untold stories from the past.